Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be working on activity 4.3 in AutoCAD for the Intro to CAD. This video will only focus on the second column, which is drawing the isometric portion. You can find the template here, and you can find the drawings with the dimensions here. I've already got AutoCAD opened up, and from here you want to click the A and choose Open, and then search for the drawing file that you downloaded from Canvas. You want to make sure you download the file first, then open AutoCAD, and then open the file through here. This will make sure that all of your settings are intact and that you have everything where it's supposed to be and that you're importing the right activity. If you just try to open the activity, it may not be able to find AutoCAD, or it may open up something blank. So make sure you do File Open first. So I've already got that open here. Again, we'll be doing this third column, just the isometric in this video. We'll save multi-views and the solid for a later video. Just like the ones before, this little X is going to be our starting point. I'm going to start and make sure that I'm on the right layer. So you want to make sure that you are on the object lines layer, like this. You can find that under layers, and then you want to be under object line, and then everything else should be locked. So make sure you're in object lines, and then we're going to start from there. So first thing, looking down here at the bottom, there's an option called ISO draft. You can click that on or off. If you click here, you can choose which plane you want to be on, like that. Right now it doesn't really matter. This will be helpful though later when we start drawing the ellipse. Okay, so first we're going to start at this corner here. There's plenty of ways to do this. We're going to start with a line command. There's plenty of ways to do this. So if you have a more, like as you're going through the process, if you see like little shortcuts and things, then by all means please do those. I'm just going to show you the way that I would do it. So I'm going to start out with the line, so L, enter, and then this is going to be my starting point. I'm going to start here, and once you turn this ISO draft on, when you snap, when you go this direction, you'll get a little green construction line grid assistant. So this is snapping it automatically to that 30 degrees, so you don't have to tell it to go at 30 degrees. So first I'm going to go 1 inch, enter, and then I'm going to go 1 inch, enter again. This is going to be important for later, and then I'm going to zoom in like so. I'm starting on the right side. No real reason as to why I did that. I just did. The height of the first section sticking out is 0.5, so I'm going to draw up and then type in my distance, 0.5, and then I'm going this way to the left, 1, enter, and then coming back down, and it should snap into place, and then press enter. So this is getting us with that first profile on the right side in the right location. Now I can left click here and press delete on your keyboard. Backspace and delete are not the same thing. So make sure you press just the delete key, and then we can start adding in some width from here. So this is depth and height really, and then we can start adding in some width. So I'm going to go with the L, enter, and then take each corner just like we would on the board and go up and to the left. So this distance here, let it snap to that green line, is 1.5. Right click to escape, right click to repeat. Going from this corner, we want it to be 0.5, enter, right click again, right click to repeat, and then same thing here. You can type 0.5, or you can come up here and hover and let it snap and then bring it down and it'll snap into place, and then you can close that off like so. Okay, then we want to come this direction and add that other side profile. We're going to go from these two corners and come down into the left, and start here and go down into the left. This distance should be 1. Coming down 0.5, or let it snap. Either one will work, maybe. Okay, so that one's not snapping, which is fine. So I'm going to type in 0.5, and then I'm going to bring it back to that corner right there. Okay, Feel free to pause the video or rewatch any of this if I'm going too fast. Now we'll take these two corners and go up and to the left just like we did up here. I'm right clicking to repeat the line command and then going from here. This distance should be, whoops, I forgot. Let's come back here and have a look at the drawing. And then this distance here, we're talking about the overall is 2.5, so this distance should be 2. Sorry. So I'm going to go this direction, 2, enter, come down to that 0.5, see if it'll snap. It did, and then snap there to get this profile. Right click to escape. Now we're going to start working our way back this direction and then get this piece here sticking up out of the top. So I'm going to right click to repeat. Coming from this corner up and to the right, I need to go 1, like that. And then to create this feature here, you can hover and snap it into place like this, or you can draw it down and to the right at 1. It's easier if you just let it hover though. The height of this feature sticking out of the back is 1, so I'm going to go up and then press 1. Coming down here, if you hover, you can try to get it to snap. If it's not snapping, that's okay. Just type in 1. And you can come down here. You see they line up perfectly. And we'll do the same process here. Coming up, you can try to get it to snap. Just like that. If it doesn't, just type in the distance. Coming back to this corner. Right click to escape. Right click to repeat. And then closing off the top here. Like that. Okay. Now we have 2 ellipses happening here. So the first thing we want to do is locate them. I prefer to just draw a line to locate it. So if I'm looking back at my dimensions, my ellipse is 2 inches this way from this corner, and then it's 1/2 inch from this way. So I'm going to draw a line 2 inches this way and then 1/2 inch this way to get that center point. And then it looks like the diameter of it is 0.5. So keep that in mind here in a second. So I'm going to switch my layers to a construction line so I can draw on top of this, and I'm going to draw a line. Going to come back from this corner here and come this direction and go 2, enter. Whoops, I did that wrong. So let's look back. It's not 2, it's 1.5. My bad, it's 1.5. My apologies. It happens sometimes. So I'm going to click these and delete that line. And then I'm going to come back and draw a line from this corner and go 1.5 this way, and then 0.5 right there. And that'll give us the center point for that ellipse. Now I'm going to delete this, come back to my layers so I'm in the appropriate layer under object line, draw a line again, and then redraw that edge that I deleted like that. So this right here is where the endpoint of that ellipse is going to be. My ellipse looks like it has a diameter of 0.5. So now that I'm in ISO draft, I want my ellipse to be on the top. So I'm going to choose ISO plane top, and then I'm going to type EL for ellipse, enter. We want an ISO circle. We want it to have a center point here, and we want it to have a radius of 0.25. Just like that. And there you go. You can delete your construction line now. We'll do the same thing on the top. You don't need to locate a center point this time, I don't think. So let's EL for ellipse. If we hover, oh wait, choose ISO circle first, and then if you hover on the top and the corner like that, you can get the center and give it a diameter of 0.25, enter. and then you're done. Easy peasy. So we can zoom out, and then we can scroll down here, and we can do the same process, different shape. So this time I'll go to the left this time just to show you different ways you can do it. So if I am looking, I'm going to check some dimensions really quick. So if I'm looking here, I needed to know about this little corner here. All right, so now looking here, I'm going to make sure I'm under the right layer. I'm under object lines. I'm going to draw a line, and I want to go this direction, and I want to go 1, and then I want to go this direction again for 2. Breaking these up into 2 separate lines here is going to help me later, so I can just delete it. So the height of this feature over here on the front is 0.5, enter. We're going to go back down into the right 2, enter, and then bring it here and press right click or press enter to escape. Now I can delete this, so I don't need it anymore. Actually, Control Z, undo, we do want that. We do want that because now we need to go to the right, and I'll show you why. So we're going to do the same thing, looking at the dimensions on the right hand side, starting at the same point, L. We're going to start here, and we're going to go up and to the right 1, and then go up and to the right 1 more. Okay? We're going to create that right profile. It looks kind of like an L. It has an overall height of 2.5. And then along the top, it is 0.5. Actually, I don't think that's right. That should be 1.5. Let's undo. Sorry. Let's try that again. So coming here, up and to the right, we're going 1. Up and to the right again, we're going 1. And then up from there, we're going 1.5. Enter. Okay, Control Z will be your best friend. Along this top is 0.5, enter, and then down here should be 1, enter, and then down and to the left should be 0.5, enter, and then bring that straight down. And it should hit right where we had those 2 lines separated. Okay, once you have that, you can delete this line and you can delete this line. Now we have this non-isometric edge here, so with a line, we can connect these 2 surfaces. Okay, remember you want the endpoints and then you'll connect them. Okay, so now we need these back features. So I'm going to go from this corner up and to the left. Distance should be, the overall is 3 minus that back section of 0.5, so it should be 2.5. Enter. And then we're going to take that and we're going to bring it to the left where it intersects here. We don't need this distance at the moment. Okay. So now we're going to draw another line. We're going to come up from this corner up here, and it should fall in line with this here, or it has a height of 1, either way, and you'll get the same result, and then bring it back here. We'll do the same thing here. The overall distance should be 3. And then this back section has a depth of 0.5. And then bringing it back here, like that. Now, you have 2 corners here and here. You want to bring this corner and meet it there. And then this corner and meet it here. Now you have the overall shape. You're just missing the ellipse here. Your ellipse is going to be on the front. Check your ISO draft and make sure that you're on that surface, which in this case would be the left. So this is your left, this is your right, and this is your top. So you're going to be drawing on the ISO left. We're going to check back at our dimensions and find its location. So it's 1.75 from here, and then we are 1 from here, or 0.5 from here. So I'm going to go 1.75 from here and then down 0.5. I'm going to switch to construction lines again, draw a line. So from here, we're going to go 1.75, enter, and then come down 0.5, enter. And then that is your center point for your ellipse. Switching back to our object line layer, choosing an ellipse, choosing an iso circle, choosing our center point, and then a diameter, or a radius, sorry, a radius of 0.25, not 26, enter. And there you go. So now you can come in and you can delete this line, and you can delete this line, and if you click the wrong thing, just Control Z and undo. Okay, so now we're going to come down to the third. This one's a lot simpler. I'm going to start on the left side, making sure I'm on ISO left, like so, making sure I'm on the correct layer, which is object layer, and then starting with a line. This one's a little easier than the previous ones. We can just start drawing out the profile. So from this corner up, so starting with that front edge that's closest to us, we're going to go up 1. And we're going to go up and to the left, making sure you're seeing that green guideline, up and to the left 2, up 2, up and to the left 2, down 2, over, I did it wrong. Okay, it happens. Let's check our measurements. So let me look here. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. So if this is 2.5, and this right here is 1, that would make this section 1.5, and I drew it as 2. So that's where we first went wrong. So I can Control Z, Control Z undoes the whole thing, but that's okay. I'm going to draw that again, coming from here, up 1, up and to the left 2, up 1.5. Always double check your measurements. Up and to the left 2, down 2, and it should line up better this time. And then my overall width of this thing is 4, so this is 0.5, which should be 3.5 along here. We're going to go 3.5. And then sometimes we even think we typed it in wrong, and it's possible that you just typed it incorrectly, and you're reading it correctly, you just typed it wrong. So just be careful and pay close attention to that. So once you get this front profile, it has a constant depth throughout the whole thing, or uniform depth throughout the whole thing, which is 2. So we can just go line, and we can go from each of the corners up and to the right 2. A couple ways you can do this, or you could continue and like work your way this way if you wanted to each his own. I'm just going to do this like I would on a board. Okay, and then we'll just close off the back. It should be lined up correctly. Working our way around like that. Okay, and then the last, again, we need an ellipse. We want it on the left side. Make sure you're on ISO left in that case, EL for ellipse. In this case, we can just find the center this way. And this one, I think, has a diameter of 1. A diameter of 1, radius of 0.5. whoops, I did that wrong. EL, enter, find your center points. Choose ISO circle, sorry, find your center points. And then it has a diameter of point, or a radius of 0.5, like that. There you go. Gotta double check my measurements. Yeah, it looks like 0.5 here. And then that is your third one. Again, easy peasy. So let's scroll down. We have 2 more to go. The last one is definitely the hardest. 2 more to go. This one's pretty simple. Starting out with a rectangular shape. It's 2 by 4 by 1. Doesn't really matter where you start. I would probably start on the front. Coming here, going up 1, going up into the left 4, coming down 1, and then closing it off. And then from there, I'd go up and to the right 2, up 1, or you can hover and track it that way, or snap it, if you will, like that. Starting with this piece, then I would come up here and add the stuff in the back. So the little piece that sticks out comes in 0.5, goes this way 2, coming here 0.5 up and to the right, down and to the right 2. And that for now. Repeat your line command, coming up 1, down and to the right 1, and then closing that off. From there, you can come up from this corner and go up and to the right 1, up and to the right 1 here, and then up and to the right 1 here as well, and then close it off. And then last, we have one final line coming from this corner up and to the right 4, or up and to the left 4, and you'll see it disappears here. So we'll trim, enter, enter, enter. Sorry, TR, enter. There's our boundary. That's what we want to trim off. Enter. There you go. And then you need a center point for this ellipse here. So I would go in to our layers, choosing a construction line, and then probably the easiest way is just to get the corners again. So go here to here, and then maybe go here to here. So go here to here, extend it out, and then bring it down. Then you can find your center point along here and just delete it. So I'm going to switch back to my object line. I want to make sure I'm in the right ISO draft. So this one will be on the top surface. So choose top, ISO top. We're going to go ellipse, enter. We want an ISO circle. We want to find the center point, which would be right there. And then we want its diameter or its radius to be 0.5. And then you can come in and just delete your construction lines. Remember, use your delete key, not your backspace. They are not the same thing. Okay, and then the last one, again, this one's much more complicated. Feel free to pause whatever it is that you need to do. So first I would start with that front profile probably, making sure I'm in object lines, and then I'm going to start with the left, which is our front, and then start with a line. I'm going to start here. I'm going to come up 0.25, up and to the left, I'm going 1, up again 0.25, up and to the left, I'm going 1, up 0.25 again, and then I'm going to stop there for a second. Actually, we're going to go one more 0.5, up and to the left 0.5. Then I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come back down here to the bottom, or the bottom edge of the front, going up and to the left 3. From there, I'm going up unsure. Let's check our dimensions. From there, I'm going up 0.5. And then you can connect that last one. So we ended here, and then we ended here, and we connected right there. Okay, so now we can go in and add some depth, not everything. So I'm going to start here. We're going 2 along here, along the bottom, and then we're going up 0.5, and then we're going down into the left 1. We're going down 0.25, and then we're coming back to our original location, hopefully. If you don't end up back there, then you typed in something wrong or missed a dimension. Okay, then we're going to add some more lines. We're going to go from this corner up and to the right 1, coming down 1, oops, too far, see? Okay, let's try that again. We're coming from here up and to the right 1, down 0.25, down into the left 1, or back to your starting point. Okay, and then we'll need a line from here to here. Okay, now got a little triangular figure happening here. 0.25 here, and then 0.5 up here. So I'm going to do another line and come up here, 0.5. The total of this should be 0.75. 0.25 plus 0.5 is 0.75, and then that should connect to there. We're going to add 1 unit or 1 inch of depth here, and then that should connect here as well. These two lines should be running parallel to one another. Okay, so now let's work back some more. Another line. This corner here creates an edge that goes all the way through the whole shape for 2 units. Then it goes 1 unit this way, but you can't see it. I would bring it down and let the guides take over, and then go 1, and then we'll come back in and trim this off. So TR, enter, select your boundary, enter, and then select the part you want to remove, enter. I wouldn't let it snap. There is a midpoint here, may or may not hit on that midpoint. You don't want it to snap on something that it's not supposed to snap on. We're going to come back to our line command. This corner here goes 1 up and to the right, and then we're going up 0.25, enter, and then back another 1, and then closing it off. Hopefully it lines up with that point there. If it doesn't, you missed something, so go back. Okay, now I'm going to come here and go up and to the right 2 again, and then that endpoint should connect with this endpoint. Okay, now all we're missing is this right here for now. So we're going to do a line from here up and to the right 1, enter, should come down and to the right 0.5 here, should snap into place, and then the last thing is this corner right there. Now all you're missing are the 2 ellipses, one of them right here. Both of them happen on the top, so we're going to change our ISO drafting to ISO plane top. I'm then going to choose an ellipse. For this first one, we don't need to mark a center point because we can map it out like that. So I'm choosing Isocircle, finding that center point like that, and then it has a diameter of 0.5 and a radius of 0.25. So type 0.25, enter. The same up here. Let's see if we can get it to snap. If not, then we can draw some construction lines. So an Isocircle. There we go. We want it to snap between the midpoint. Midpoints are little triangles, endpoints are squares. So this midpoint, this endpoint along this axis, right? Maybe not. There, right there. Click, and then you want a radius of 0.25. And then that will complete all 5. If yours is not in white, then you can come up here and you can highlight all of it, go to layers, and then choose object lines to put it on the correct layer. Once you've done that, you're going to choose File, Save As, save it as Intro to CAD, last name, first name. So I would put Intro to CAD, Bond, Jessica. Save it there. You want to make sure that you are saving it under the OneDrive option. Make sure this has your student ID number and then select the OneDrive option, save it there. And then once you have done that, you want to come over to Google Drive and upload the assignment that you just completed, just to have a backup copy. Once you've done that, you're all set, and then we'll do part 2 later.